Okay. Um, Peacefully protesting doesn't do fuck all. It doesn't do a fucking thing. It seemed like it did because they really sold you on Martin Luther King and that whole psyopery. And it wasn't a psyop. Martin Luther King was real, and he did, the good doctor, he did want inclusion until he didn't. And then they assassinated him. But, peacefully protesting doesn't do anything. And your forefathers, and by yours, I mean the caucasoidal hot mess from France, knew that when their taxes were too high, they beheaded the king and queen of France for their revolution. That's what they did. So peacefully protesting doesn't do anything. All it does is turn your energy and make it so that all your energy that you're focused on is doing nothing. Now, the boycotting thing, it buys you time. But all they're going to do is save that shit that they were going to do for another day. They're going to do it. The thing that you're boycotting, they're going to try again in a year and see if you forget. And if they can get away with it the following year, then that's what they're going to do. If you want real change, in tarot, the death card, that means change. And the only time most people in this iteration of our lives and existences are going to see change is when they actually go on and transition. If you want to see change, real change, some things are going to have to die. But honestly, if you want to see real change, you're going to have to hold your congressmen, your politicians, your president, your government accountable. And how are you going to boycott your government? It might, like I said, it buys you time when it comes to capitalism and things that are running off of and maintaining this hamster wheel and this beast system, because everything is so crunched and so tight and so inflated that a few million people pulling out of Disney is going to actually affect their gross and their production. So you get what you want for the time being. But what did you really obtain in having Jimmy Kimmel back in the first place? What I say, what you should have did was conserve all that energy, bottle it all up till you get to a certain point as a collective, and then get what you want. And then go get what you want. And then go get what you want. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. And then go after the things that you want. This is the shit that they don't want you to know. Because like that peaceful protest shit is not going to do anything. It really isn't. And if it does do anything, better believe they wanted it done. So for the example of Martin Luther King, they were ready for people to be included. They needed the black fucking dollar. They needed the black dollar in order to monopolize their debaucherous machinations. Because you see, when there's separation and there's segregation, all of the Native Indigenous / Black American at the time were working for white people and taking that money back to their communities and building their own community. So what did integration do? It took all that money that was going into the black community and put it into the white communities. So it was very much strategic. And when Martin Luther King figured that out, they assassinated him. And because he had been involved with so much debauchery, sleeping with white women, and, you know, the CIA, that was their playbook. Right? That's what they would do. They would, especially with men, they would have some type of woman that is her type, that is his type, that is a complete scandal. And later, you know, Jeffrey, with the Epstein having children, you know, I'm not even going to go there in this video, but definitely making a taboo or keeping a taboo under wraps or making it seem like they were on his side, but not really, by giving him these Caucasoidal women to be infatuated with, something that was out of his grasp, that they understood he would be faltered to. And so when they couldn't hold that over his head and he wanted to tell the truth in his last speech, which he did, they assassinated him the day after. Like, people, and especially by people, I mean Caucasoidal people for sure, you forget about that. Your white ass assassinated him. And what did the Native Indigenous black folk do? What did they do to you after a white person assassinated someone who was very influential and powerful and made true strides in terms of perception and how the Black American was seen in this country? Nothing. It wasn't like about with Kirk, like, oh, that you just want to be able to say what you want to say and get away with it and make America great again. No, it was like true disenfranchisement, true bias, true racism in a society. This is not the same thing, and I talked about this in a previous video, but I digress. Peacefully protesting does nothing. And if it does seem like it's doing something, you better believe it was part of their agenda from the very fucking beginning.